And we are going to get started. We're actually going to start standing up today, even though now everybody's got their mats all set up. But we're going to start by standing up at one end of your mat. And I'm going to make sure that you can see me here. Sort of, maybe a little bit. Let's see, I think it's more important for you to see the top half of me. So we'll stand at one end of the mat here. And, well, actually, I'll do it this way. We'll stand and we're just going to reach your arms up as you inhale and then exhale them back down. I'm going to do a little breathing. So inhale your arms up overhead, exhale them back down. Two more like that. We'll inhale up and exhale down. And this time when we inhale up, let's stay there and then try to grow taller, reaching your fingertips up towards the ceiling as if you're being stretched by your fingertips. And good. And then we'll come down so that our arms are in right angles here. And think about keeping your shoulder blades down your back when we do this. So you're going to reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to come down into right angles with your elbows. And just try to pull your shoulder blades down your back. Imagine putting those shoulder blades in your back pocket. And then we'll again reach up and then bring those shoulders down. And from a side view, if you notice that your elbows are very forward, try and get them back in line with your ears if you can. If that's not possible, just get as close as you can. We're going to do it 2 more times. We're going to bring those elbows down and then back up. And then down, and then back up. And while we're up here, let's clasp those hands together. You're going to widen your stance of your feet a little bit. And as you inhale, you're going to come on over to the right. And I forget which direction it is for you if I'm going to the right here. Then we'll come back up, inhale at the top, exhale, reach over to the left. Nice side bend here. And then inhale your way back to the middle, exhale, and then inhale, come on over to the right. You can inhale while you're down there, exhale back up to the middle, and inhale one more time over to the left. And then back up to the middle, and then we'll take those arms down by your side. Now you can go towards the end of your mat here, because we're going to just slowly, as if you were hugging a beach ball, you're going to slowly start to nod your chin and roll down, soften your knees, roll down, put a little bend in your knees as you actually come down to your feet, and we're going to walk yourself out into a plank position. I'm going to change the video of me in just a second. And then you can actually put your knees down so that we're in a quadruped position. So hands are right below your shoulders and your knees are right below your hips. So we're in this quadruped position. Let's again think about having those shoulder blades in your back pockets, which means that you're just thinking, you don't want your shoulders up by your ears. You really want them down, and your hands are going to be right underneath your shoulders. Your knees are also right underneath your hips there. And from here, we're going to do some cat and cow stretches. So we're going to let our belly sag down towards the floor, and then we're going to round our spine up towards the ceiling. So exhale, let your belly hang down. Inhale, come into that cat arching its back position. Exhale, bring your belly down. Inhale, arch your back. See if you can arch through your lower back as well as your upper back, and then exhale, let that belly come down. Now let's keep our upper back right where it is, and we're just going to do your lower back. So we've done this actually on the mat, where you press your back into the mat, and then you roll your tailbone forward. So just try to let your upper back not do anything, and just do your lower back. So flatten your back, and then arch, still letting your belly come down towards the mat, and then arching only your lower back, trying to leave your upper back out of it. I know it probably feels weird, but we're trying to get control, pelvic control of our pelvis there so that we'll be flexible and strong. Great. Then we'll come back to that neutral position, which is an all the way arched, or I'm sorry, all the way rolled forward or all the way arched. We'll come right into that middle position. And then keeping that middle position, you're gonna look over your left shoulder as if you were a dog looking at your tail wagging. So you're looking behind you, and you'll feel probably a big stretch on your right side. And then we'll come back to the middle, and then you're gonna look over your right shoulder and side bend your spine as you do that. It's kind of a nice side thing. So again, we're thinking about bringing our left shoulder towards our left hip as we look over our left shoulder, and then straightening out, and then right shoulder towards your right knee, your right hip, and then straighten out. We'll do one more to each side here. So looking over your left shoulder, bringing that left shoulder towards your left hip, straightening out, and then right shoulder towards your right hip, and then straightening out. Good, and then you can come back into a little child's pose there. I can't quite get my hips down to my ankles, but you can, so if you can go further, that's great. But I'm gonna stay right here since this is my range of motion limitations. Breathe while you're down in this position. 2 more breaths here. 1 more. And then we'll come back up into what we call that quadruped position, which is hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And we're going to start with just taking your left arm out in front of you and then putting it back underneath you. And then reach that right arm forward and put it back underneath you. Careful to have soft elbows. I have hyperextended elbows. I tend to keep them locked out, but I don't want to do that. I want to soften those elbows. I'm going to reach your left arm forward. And as you put that left hand down, see if you can minimize the movement in your upper body as you switch over to your right hand to extend it. Same thing, I put my right hand down, reach my left one forward with very little motion to the rest of my body. I'm trying to stay as still as I can. My shoulders are away from my ears. 1 more on our right side here. Good, and now we're going to try to reach just our left leg back and point that toe and then bring it underneath your hip again. And then we'll reach that right foot back, toe is pointed, nice long line in your leg, put it back underneath you, reach with that left foot, underneath you, reach with that right foot. 1 more on each side here. So reach back with that left foot. Again, trying to keep everything else nice and still in your body. Not a lot of shifting if you can help it. Good, right knee back underneath you. Now we're gonna add in 1 arm and 1 leg. So I'm gonna reach forward with my left arm and at the same time reaching back with my right leg. And balancing, and then bring those 2 back. And then reach forward with your right arm and back with your left leg. Really point that toe. See if you can stay as long as possible in your body. Stretch your spine. Good, right arm, left leg, reach. Really try to lengthen that spine as much as you can. Imagine energy just shooting out of the top of your head and through your toes. As you extend them, 1 more on each side here. So you can stay as long and as lengthened as possible. Last one. Excellent. Good, and then you can turn around. We're gonna lie back down on your back. And what we just did while we were in that quadruped where we did the cat-cow and we let our belly hang down towards the floor and then came up into an arch position, we're gonna do the same thing on our back here. So our feet are underneath our knees, our hands are down by our side, our shoulders are away from our ears, we're relaxed in our shoulders, and from here we're gonna just start by pressing your lower back into the mat, and then rolling your tailbone forward. and then pressing your back into the mat, and then rolling your tailbone forward. Again, we're just using the bottom half of our upper body, okay? Our shoulders want to get involved, but we want to keep them nice and quiet as we just roll that pelvis back and forth. A couple more like this. Make sure you're breathing. You can inhale as you press, and you can exhale as you roll that tailbone forward. 2 more. Inhale, roll back into the mat, press it into the mat. Exhale, roll it forward. Inhale, exhale. Good, now we're gonna get into some bridging with some articulation of our spine as we lift our hips. So with our hands down by our side and our palms facing down, and our feet are the distance of our hips. In other words, we're not so wide or we're not really narrow in our stance. We're right in line with our hips or our sits bones. And from here, we're gonna start with that pressing the back into the mat feeling and action. And then we're slowly gonna peel your spine up off the mat, 1 vertebra at a time, to come up to a bridge position. Shoulders are still down. When we get up here, we're gonna inhale, and then we're gonna exhale, and we're gonna slowly drop down 1 vertebra at a time. We're gonna reverse that direction, putting down 1 vertebra at a time as you lower your upper body. And you're gonna finish with rolling that tailbone forward, and then we'll press it flat into the mat again and peel that spine off. And you may notice some sticky spots that, especially on the way down, so inhale at the top, exhale on the way down. You may feel some spots that feel hard to get through. Really breathe through those, because the breath will help you loosen up those muscles. Roll that tailbone forward, press your lower back into the mat, peel your spine up off as you're breathing. Get to the top, inhale again, exhale your way back down. Really exhaling through those sticky spots. Great. We're going to pause here for a second and take those arms up above your head. And we're going to do 3 like this with our arms just above, sorry, not above our head, above our chest. We do the same thing where we're going to start by pressing your back into the mat. As you're exhaling, you're peeling your spine up off the mat. The top, inhale, and then exhale back down, keeping those arms right above your chest. 2 more. Inhale at the bottom, exhale as you peel your spine up. Good. Inhale at the top, exhale your way down. Good. This time you're going to take those arms down by your side, but you're going to have palms facing up. And we're going to exhale our way back up to the top of that bridge. So go ahead and press your back into the mat. Exhale. Bring your hips up into the air. Holding in this position, we're going to take those arms and bring them above your head and touch, and then back down. You can sort of stay an inch or so off the floor as you sweep those arms up overhead. You really need to keep those shoulders down and relaxed, because if they're tense and you try to get up in here, shoulders aren't going to allow for that. So really try to relax. Let's do 1 more with the arms. We'll bring that up overhead. Bring your arms down by your side, and then as you exhale, we'll slowly come out of that bridge. Great job. Now let's take 1 knee and then the other and hug your knees towards your chest for a second, just to round out that back. You can roll side to side a little bit if you want. And we're going to try some 1-legged bridges here. So what that means is we'll put 1 knee down and then the other. To get into this position, we're going to inhale 1 knee up to tabletop. So it's going to be, your knee is going to be on your right leg, right above your hip. It's going to stay there. And as you exhale, you're just going to press up with your left leg and then come back down. We don't need to worry about articulating your spine so much on this one. Just press up straight off, like pull your back up off the mat, and then back down. Exhale as you press up. Inhale at the top, exhale as you come back down. 2 more single leg bridges. One more. Great. Then you can put that right foot down. Bring your left knee up to tabletop. Left knee is right above your left hip. Shin is parallel to the floor. Shoulders are relaxed. As you exhale, we're going to lift your body up with just that right leg. Press up. Might feel harder on one side than the other. And that's okay. This is a great way to even it out by doing single leg exercises. Two more. Here's one and two. Excellent. And you can come back down here. Last bridging type exercise we're going to do, for now anyway, is we're going to exhale our way up to the top of the bridge. And while we're up here, we're going to stay nice and strong through our glutes and keep those hips lifted while we lift our right knee up into the air, put it back down. Then we're going to lift our left knee, put it back down. We're going to alternate. We're going to do a little marching motion in this bridge. So go ahead, exhale, bring your hips up. We're in this both-legged, two-legged bridge. Inhale, bring that right knee towards your chest, put it back down. Left knee, right knee, left knee. One more on each side. Don't forget to breathe. One and two. And then you can bring those hips back down to the mat. Excellent job. You can do a few of those pelvic curls here, because that always feels nice to me, to roll that tailbone forward and then press your back into the mat. See if you can just use those ab muscles. Try to leave your glutes and your quads out of it so that that ab muscle gets used to controlling. Good. One more like that. Excellent. And then from here, we're going to inhale, bring your right knee to tabletop, then your left knee. So both feet are in tabletop. That means those shins are parallel to the floor. Your knees are above your hips. And as we exhale, we're going to send that right foot down and touch your toes to the floor. Exhale, send those left toes to the floor, touch them, bring them back up. Exhale, right foot down, inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, left foot down, inhale, bring it back up. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. Two more, one on each side here. Right foot down, inhale it back up. Left foot down, inhale it back up. Good. Then you can hug those knees to your chest for a second. And from here, we're going to keep those knees in tabletop. And we're going to, as you exhale, we're going to lower both knees down to one side. We're not going to go all the way down to the floor. We're just going to go about halfway down. And when you get halfway down, you're going to use those abdominal muscles to pull your knees back up. And then we'll use those abs to slowly lower down over to the left side. Inhale, bring them back up. Exhale, slowly lower down to the right. Inhale, bring them back. Exhale, slowly lower to the left. Inhale, bring it back. Two more. Lower down to the right. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Good. We're going to do the same thing. You can pause here for a second, and I'll show you. The same concept, the same exercise, except when we get down this time, we have the option to either extend one leg or both legs if you can. Ooh, my hamstrings are tight today. And then we're going to bring your knees back and we'll roll over to the other side and then we'll extend and then bring it back to bent. So we're only extending when we're off to the side there. We'll extend, bring it back, come to the middle. If that feels too hard, you can just do the back and forth. If it feels like you might be able to do one leg instead of both, that's less stress on your back, that's totally fine too. So let's start in that bent knee tabletop position. We'll exhale, lower to the right, straighten both legs, straighten one leg, straighten no legs, whichever works for you. Inhale, bring it back to the middle. Exhale, lower to the left. Inhale, extend those legs. Inhale, bring them back. Come back to the middle, over to the right. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bring them back. One more to the other side. Exhale down, exhale, extend, inhale, bring them back. Ooh, my hamstrings are tight today. That's a hard one. All right. So let's come back into this position where we're in that neutral spine. You've got a lightness underneath your lower back. We're not all the way flattened into the back, and we're not into the mat, and we're not tilted forward. We're right in between there. And we're going to take those arms behind your head and see if you can keep your elbows out to the side. That, you know, the old style crunch or sit up is going to be like this. We want to keep that nice and open because you can feel the stretch on your chest there, which is a nice bonus on this one too. We're going to do the chest lift. So your feet are right below your knees. And we're going to inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, we're going to lift head, neck, and shoulders up into the air. And then we'll inhale back down. Inhale to prepare, exhale, come up. You can inhale at the top and then exhale, lower back down. Inhale, exhale, bring up. Inhale at the top, exhale, lower. Inhale to prepare, exhale up. Inhale at the top, exhale back down. Inhale to prepare, exhale, come up. Inhale there, exhale back down. Two more. Exhale up, inhale, exhale back down, exhale up, inhale at the top, exhale back down. Good, you can take your arms out to the side there and just let that stretch continue through your chest there, through your upper body a little bit and through those chest muscles. Good, we're gonna try the 100 today. So we're going to leave our knees in the same position. We're not actually going to do the 100. We're going to do like a 50, which means that we'll do the 5 breaths. Well, I don't even get into counting. I'm just going to go until it feels like enough. So I'll show you what I mean first. We'll start with the arms overhead. And as you exhale, you're going to lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Your arms will come down by your hips. And we're going to pump our arms and inhale for 5 breaths. So it can be one long inhale, like, and then we'll exhale for 5 breaths. I'll be counting. So we'll go inhale for 5, like 5 beats and one long inhale. And then we'll exhale for one long exhale for 5 beats. I'll count, we'll probably do 4 or 5 of those, and then we'll come back down. So you can start with your arms overhead. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, come on up, and then we're going to inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Still pumping those arms. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring those arms back overhead. If you start to notice that your neck is bothering you in this position, try to re-engage your abs because they may be getting tired and then your neck is trying to take over. If it doesn't feel good, you can always keep your head down and just pump this way and practice the breathing. We're going to do it one more time. So we'll start with those arms overhead. Remember to really keep those abs strong, as if these ab muscles they are what's lifting your head, neck, and shoulders. It's not your neck lifting your head, neck, and shoulders. So really use those belly muscles to lift you up in the air. And that breathing, remember, we'll do one long inhale for 5 seconds and then one long exhale for 5 seconds. All right, so we'll inhale to prepare. We'll exhale, come on up, and then we'll inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring those arms back overhead. Excellent. That's the 100. You'll probably encounter that in a lot of Pilates classes. It's challenging. I like to just start with a really basic version of it. We'll progress to get more challenging with that. But that is the 100. So Let's roll onto your stomach here. I'm going to come onto your stomach, and we're going to put your chin right on top of your hands here, and really reach your legs long so that your toes are pointed. If your feet start to cramp, you can just flex your feet like that, and that helps to stop that cramping process because it stretches those muscles on the bottoms of your feet. And when they get tight, it's what tends to lead to that cramping sensation or just cramping. So you can either flex or point your feet. If you can point your feet, that's great. We're gonna have your chin in your hands, and I want you to really reach through those toes and keep your legs as long as possible. And then also imagine energy shooting out of the top of your head, like somebody is pulling the top of your head so we can lengthen your whole body as much as possible. And in that lengthened position, we're gonna we're gonna inhale to prepare, and on the exhale, we're gonna lift up your head, neck, and shoulders and your lower body at the same time. And then we'll come back down. So exhale, lift up, inhale at the top, and then exhale, come back down. If this feels too hard in your back, you could just do the top part or just do the bottom, like just do your lower body or just do your upper body. So inhale to prepare, exhale, come up. Inhale at the top, exhale back down. Exhale up, exhale down. There's an inhale at the top there. Exhale up, exhale down. One more like this. Exhale up, and then exhale down. Good, now we're gonna keep our head down, but we are gonna lift our lower body, our legs up off the air, up off into the air. And we're gonna do little kicking, like we're holding onto the side of the pool at a kid's swimming lesson and kicking. So we'll keep your head down. If you want extra challenge, you could lift your head. I am gonna lift my head, but you can keep your head down if you want. So we'll exhale, lift up, and then we're just gonna kick with those legs, little kicks, point your toes, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then bring everything back down to the mat. All right, we're gonna try that again. So exhale, lift up, little kicks with those feet, straight legs, 3, 2, and 1, back down. Great, we'll do one more like that. So we'll inhale to prepare, we'll exhale, come up, kick those legs, kick those long lengthened legs. 3, 2, and 1, come back down. We're gonna add in the upper body. If your lower back is not loving this, you can either come back into a child's pose and stretch your back that way. You could do what we just did, or you could just do the upper body motion. The upper body motion here is we're actually gonna start those arms down by your side with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're gonna lift up, turn our palms towards each other, facing each other in front, and going up and down with our arms at the same time we're going up and down with our legs. And we'll be there for about 3 more seconds, 2, 1, and then we'll take those arms down by your side. Okay, so we'll try that. So inhale to prepare. And then we're gonna exhale, take those arms, sweep them out in front, palms facing each other, up and down with your arms, up and down with your legs. 3, 2, and 1. And then take those arms down by your side. Switch and face your face the other direction each time we come up and then down. I'm gonna keep facing you, but you can turn your head the other way, which probably feels weird because there's usually one direction that feels kind of weird with your head like that. All right, so here we go. Arms are down by your side. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale. Come on up and down with arms and legs. Little movements, controlled movements. Stay nice and strong through your core. 3, 2, 1. Sweep those arms down. Switch which way your head is facing as you put it down on the mat. Good. We'll do 2 more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Palms facing each other. Little ups and downs with those legs and arms. Reach through those toes. 3,
2, and 1. Take those arms down by your side. Last one coming up. All right, re-engage those ab muscles, stay nice and strong. Press your pelvic bone, pubic bone right down into the mat. That will help give some support to your lower back. Here we go, we'll exhale, come up. Arms up and down, legs up and down. Little motions. 3, 2, and 1. Take those arms down by your side. Awesome job. Let's come up into child's pose again. It'll be a nice stretch for your lower back. Let your back go the other direction for a second, a little arch in that back, like reaching up towards the ceiling. Good. And then while we're up here, we're gonna roll on our side. Let's be on your right side if possible, so we can keep everybody going on the same directions here. And we're gonna have those knees bent. Your top hip is right above your bottom hip. Okay, sometimes we have a tendency to lean back like this in this sideline position, but really keep that top hip right over your bottom hip. Okay, your head can be resting in your elbow here. And I want you to think about having a little mouse hole underneath your waist to keep you up and away from the mat so that you're not sagged down into the mat. So have nice, good spine position. Try to lift up a little bit underneath your waistline. And keeping your feet together, as you exhale, you're gonna lift that top knee up and then back down. I'm gonna make my knees a little more bent there. So exhale, lift that top knee up and then back down. And really think about keeping those hips stacked one on top of the other. Top hip is staying right above the bottom hip. Great. And this might be your easy side, so it's feeling easy, no problem. We'll see what happens when we get to the other side. Excellent. 2 more, 1 and 2. Great. Now we're going to take that arm that was underneath your head and bring it outstretched in front of you. And you're going to take your top hand and put it right over that bottom hand. Hips are still stacked. We're here. Your head is up in the air. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you could still keep that leg under your head would be really crazy, but your arm underneath your head, and you could just keep that top hand there. If it feels okay to hold your neck up, you can have your arms straight here. And as we inhale, we're going to take that top arm and our eyes are going to follow it as we reach back. And when I get to above my shoulder, my whole upper body is going to move with that arm. I'm kind of running into the wall here, and then we're going to bring it all the way back to meet up with that bottom hand. These are called book openings. So you can imagine that this is like we're opening the pages of the book. And as we get to above our shoulder, we're gonna lean back with that upper body, still keeping our top hip over the bottom hip though. So we get a nice twist and then bring it back. 2 more. So inhale, reach that arm up. Reach back with your upper body, keeping that top hip facing forward and then back. 1 more. Reach up, inhale. Reach back. And then match that top hand to the bottom hand. Good. Then you can bring that hand underneath your head again. You're going to straighten your legs. And then in this position, again, remembering that little mouse hole underneath your waist, stay light under there. Keep your head in line with your spine so you're not forward or back or down or anything. Try to keep your head right in line with your spine, if you can imagine that. And we're going to keep your top foot, or both feet actually, flexed. So that's not pointed, that's flexed. We're going to keep that top foot flexed as we just lift it up into the air and then bring it back down. You can play with how far up you can. If you can only lift it up that high, that's fine. Just go to where you can still keep your upper body still, okay, as you're doing this So in other words, I don't want to do this kind of thing to be able to raise my leg up higher. And I do want to keep my foot parallel to the floor. So if you'll notice, if you point your toes up towards the ceiling, you can lift your leg a lot higher. But I want you to keep your foot parallel to the floor as you lift up. You can feel that glute, that hip, working to lift that top leg. One more. We'll lift it up and then come back down. Good. And then in this position, let's lift up that top leg just a little bit, and we're going to bring that leg forward and then back. And I want you to stop behind you at the point that your back wants to arch, and then bring it forward. Still stay nice and still with your upper body as you're swinging that leg. And actually, let's do a little pointing with our foot. That will give us a little more flexibility in the sweep here. You could even do a thing where you point your toes as you come forward and flex your foot on the way back. So point to go forward and flex on the way back. Two more like that. One and two. Great. Now we're going to start with your foot, the sole of your foot on just below your knee, or actually right around your shin. And we're going to drag that foot up as far as you can still keep your foot on the inside of your leg. And then we're going to reach that leg up and bring it all the way down to your other foot. And then we're going to drag that foot along the inside of our leg, and then bend your knee, point up, bring your foot down to match the other foot, drag that foot along the inside, lift up. Good. One more, drag that foot on the inside, lift up, and then meet it back down to the other one. Great. You will rotate your hip a little bit to get that foot, flat on the inside of your leg. That is okay. All right, last one we're going to do here is we're going to lift that leg up, and we are going to have our foot flexed here. You can definitely use this left hand in front of you to help keep you steady. And with that leg lifted, we're going to draw small circles with a straight leg. 7 or 8 in one direction here. Let's think that's 2 more. I'm a terrible counter. Good. And then we can switch and go the other direction. All right, your leg is probably ready to fall off, but zip it back on there 2 more times. 1 and 2. Good. And then you can lie on your back and take that same leg that was on top and cross it tightly over your knee, your right knee, and then hug your knees to your chest for the world's greatest stretch. After that exercise, anyway, it seems to get right at that muscle that was working very hard. Great job. And then keeping your knees in that same position, just let them drop down to the mat. And then you can put your arms down, and then keeping your knees crossed, just slowly let those knees come over to the right. And then you can come back up to the middle and then slowly drop them over to the left. Great job. Nice stretch. Bring them back to the middle. We're going to switch over onto your left side. And now I have to remember all the exercises we just did on that side. I believe that we started with clamshells. So knees are going to be bent about in line with your hips. Again, that top hip is positioned right over your bottom hip so that it is stacked, like we like to say. Hips are stacked. Head is supported by your hand, your elbow. Make sure your head is in line with your spine. You're not too far forward and you're not too far below your spine. So just prop your head up so it stays in line there. And then as you exhale, we'll keep those feet together and take that top knee towards the ceiling, keeping that top hip nice and closed, meaning stacked on top of the lower hip, the bottom hip. These might feel a little bit easy or maybe not. So it just kind of depends, but we're just checking out that hip flexibility and strength. Again, remember that little mouse hole underneath your waistline. Okay, everybody's tired of hearing about mice at this point. We don't need to mention the mouse hole part anymore. One more, just think about a lightness underneath your waist. Good. And then keeping your feet in that same position, you're going to extend that left arm out in front. Your right arm is going to reach out and give a high five to that left hand. They're right in line with your shoulder there. If you can hold your head up, that's great. If you need that arm position under your head, that's fine. You can just use that top hand. So as you inhale, you're going to take that right arm up above. When you get above your shoulder, let your upper body come into it too and let it roll back. And then bring it back to meet the bottom hand. So inhale that arm up. In line with your shoulder, starts to bring that upper body back. Good. Again, if your neck starts to feel a little pinchy from being in this position, feel free to take that bottom arm and support your neck. Good. So that top arm, last one here, really works with your upper body. Great. And then from here, you can go back to supporting your head, and we're going to straighten those legs. And in that straightened leg position, again, a little bit of lightness underneath your waist. And we're going to keep that top foot flexed as we lift it and lower it. Right hand can be in front, helping you to stabilize. You might notice that you feel a little wobbly front to back in this position. That's great. That means that your muscles in your core are working to figure out how to stabilize you forward and backwards, and laterally. So this is great work for your body. Keep that foot parallel to the floor as you lift it. Two more. Here's one and two. And then from here, let's lift it again. And we'll point our toes as we bring our leg forward. And then we'll flex our foot as we bring that foot back. Sweep that foot forward, flex that foot back. Make sure your upper body is nice and still so that you're not bending your upper body to be able to lift that leg or swing that leg. Just go within your range of motion where you can keep that body still while you're swinging that leg forward and back. Two more. So we'll go forward and then back. I don't know about you, but my hip is talking to me a little bit right here. Whew. Okay. Now we're going to do this one where we do open up that hip a little bit. We're trying not to lean back, but you are going to open it a little bit so that you can get that sole of your foot along the inside of your shin there. And we'll drag that foot up to the inner thigh, and then we'll straighten and extend. Bring it back down to meet that other foot. Sole of your foot drags up the inside of your leg, bent knee, straighten, and then it comes back down to your foot. Bent knee, straighten, straight leg back down to the foot. Drag that leg up the inside of your left leg, straighten. Last one. Excellent. Straighten that leg and bring it back down. Excellent. I may have forgotten something on this side, but I can't remember. Okay, I think that we're good with that. Oh, we got to do the stretch. Yes, I don't want to forget that. So we're going to cross that knee tightly, that right leg over the left leg, nice and tightly, and then hug those knees to your chest. Should feel like a good stretch and like it's getting at the hip that was just working really hard, which is nice. Keep breathing while you're stretching. Relax your neck. And then you can keep that same knee position, but bring your foot down to the floor and just let your body roll, lower half of your body roll to the left. And then you can use your abdominal muscles to pull your knees back to the middle. Keep those knees the same way, twisted the same way, and then roll over to your right. Awesome stretch. Good, and then you can bring your knees back to the middle. Grab your Thera-Band or whatever you have to stretch. I've got one of these stretchy bands here. If you have a towel, that works. Sometimes if I'm desperate, I just use a t-shirt or something. And I'm just gonna loop the Thera-Band around the ball of my right foot. And I'm gonna straighten my left leg down to the floor. And like I said before, my hamstrings are a little tight today. So I'm gonna just back off until I can get actually a straight leg, which is quite far down here. I'm gonna work my way up a little bit, hopefully. But let's just go to where you can still keep your legs straight and you're holding on to the Thera-Band or your towel or your yoga belt. And we're gonna try to point and flex your foot against that band, which is gonna nicely work the muscles along the back of your leg. Holy cow. So some of us might be sitting a little bit more. I've been riding my bike a lot, which tends to make my hamstrings a little bit tighter. There are things that might be contributing to that. Good, you can pause there. And then let's take that right leg out to the right. Again, keep it straight if you can. And you can also use this right hand. I like to do that to support that leg, just so I can ease into that stretch, because that inner thigh stretch is real. It's a big stretch. And then you can take that leg back up, and then keeping that right hip nice and heavy on the floor, like actually on the floor, try to take that leg across your midline as much as you can while still keeping your right hip on the floor. So we're used to sometimes just bringing that leg all the way over. I want you to try to keep that right hip nice and heavy on the floor. Just take that leg across your midline. Holy cow, big stretch on that IT band, which is that ligamentous band that meets right up at your hip. And all those muscles around it can get really tight. Now you can let that right hip come up off the mat, and you can actually let that leg come all the way down to the floor on the left side of your body. And then you can inhale your way back up, and we're gonna switch legs. So we'll put the ball of your left foot into that towel or Thera-Band, and just go to where you can still keep that leg straight. And then when you find that place, let's point and flex your foot. If you don't have a band or a towel, just support your leg behind your thigh right here and just hold on to it. And then you can still do that pointing and flexing. My leg is still not quite straight. That's the beauty of seeing yourself in the computer, so I can see that it's still very tight today. Good, and then you can flex that foot, and using your left hand this time, support your left leg as it comes out to the side for an unbelievable inner thigh stretch. Holy guacamole. This wall is very convenient. It's giving me a nice place to rest my leg here. You can still feel a very big stretch. And then we'll take it across your body, keeping that left hip heavy on the mat. See how far you can take that leg across. You may need to lower it down toward your toes. Lower your foot down toward your toe, your other foot on the floor, to be able to come across while still keeping that left hip heavy. And then we'll give ourselves a little break and let that hip come up off the floor as we let that leg come down all the way to the mat, if you can. If you can't, that's okay too. But nice big stretch there. Excellent job. Then you can bring that leg back up. You can bend your knee. You can take the towel around, or the towel or Thera-Band off from around your leg, your foot. And we're gonna come on up to plank position here. We're gonna finish with some planks. We're gonna try a couple different options here. We're gonna try first to have our hands on the mat, and we're gonna have our feet underneath us, like in this position. And we're gonna come up. If that feels too hard, you can be on your elbows. That's fine too. So you can either do elbows. If both of those feel too hard and you need to be on your knees and holding the plank here, that's great too. So whichever way works for you. We're gonna come up for 20 seconds into a plank. So let's all find our plank position. We're gonna come on up and we're gonna be here for 20 seconds. So really think about pulling your body up away from your hands or your elbows. Think about keeping your body nice and still. Think about breathing. Thinking about keeping your neck in line with your spine so you're not nodding your head down. Keep that head nice and strong. 2 and 1. Good job. That was 20 seconds. Awesome. We're going to do one more like that, and then we're going to mix it up a little bit. So if you notice that your hands or wrists are really bothering you, you can go into this fist position, or again, you could go on your elbows. Another trick is that if you have dumbbells at home, this is a huge one, but you can use those. I'll just show you for a plank position. It saves you could do it this way and come up onto that. It takes a little pressure off your wrist to be on something like that. So that's also another possibility. But we'll find that plank position, find your plank, and we'll come on up. Here we go, we're here for 20 seconds. Again, feel your body pull up away from your hands, keep your shoulders away from your ears, and stay super strong through those ab muscles. Keep your neck in line with your spine. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. I do have a clock that I'm watching, just so you know. I know I did say I'm bad at counting, but I always count on planks because I don't like to do planks for too much longer than I have to. All right, this time we're gonna add in a little fun here. We're gonna be in that plank position. And you don't have to come up, I'll just show you first. You're gonna come up into that plank position. We're gonna do some toe taps. We're gonna send one leg out, touch the floor out to the left, touch the floor out to the right. We're gonna do 3 on each side up in that plank. So you can do that on your elbows as well. So let's find that plank position. Let's come on up. So here we are. We'll touch with our left toe, our right toe, our left toe, our right toe. One more on each, left toe and right toe. Excellent. Good job. We're going to do one last version of that plank. We are going to do, I think it's probably best to do this up on your hands, is in this position here, we're gonna take your left knee up towards your hands, put it back, and then your right knee. We're gonna do it 3 times on each side. So let's find that plank position, feet underneath you, and here we go. We'll take your left knee forward, put it back, right knee forward, keep everything else still. Left knee forward, right knee forward. Last ones, left knee forward, and right knee forward. Great job. Let's come into a sitting position here. We'll do a little stretch where you're going to take the inside of the sole of your foot to the inside of your right leg and the inside of your left leg here. Try to sit up nice and tall. Let yourself breathe here after those planks. Those were hard. Great job. You did it. Way to go. And then we'll switch legs. So we'll put the inside of our left foot along the inside of our right thigh, sitting up nice and tall. And then we will swing that leg out so that both legs are out, and take your arms and put them behind you and prop yourself up so you can open up your chest here.
And take some deep breaths here. And you can flex your feet. You'll feel that stretch all and flex and point. As you flex your feet, you'll feel that stretch down the backs of your legs. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Why don't we finish with that today? Great job, everybody. If anybody has any questions, I am here and happy to answer them. Let me see if I can unmute.